Hi, it's me again with Corel Tips and Tricks. Pretty cool little design. If you'll take a screenshot of that right there, kind of tell you how to do it. This is one of the ones you want to start in the center of the page. So we're going to draw an ellipse. It doesn't really matter what size you start out with and hit P. We're going to go to Effects and Contour. We're going to contour the inside 3 times at an inch. So we have those 4 lines. We could actually make it a little bit bigger, holding down the Shift key so it'll grow from the center. You don't really have to, but I always go and break contour apart. Now, take a 2-point line, hold down the control button and hit P, and Control D and make a duplicate and rotate it 15 degrees, and then Control D again. Now, I like working up and down on the page, so I'm going to hit the Alt key and select those two. I'm going to go ahead and group them together, and I'm going to rotate them a negative 15 degrees. Well, really a negative 7.5 degrees, because I want to work straight up and down right here. Now we're going to ungroup those. Don't really have to, but then take this one and see my measurement is off, but I can deal with that. So I'm going to Control D, and that's actually a negative number. So I'm going to go plus 3.5, and then go Control D, Control D, Control D. So the last one is not, it's just a space that we're going to use. I'm actually going to have to bring this in, kind of remember how to do it. Here's a good trick. Let's ungroup all these. And then let's select those and turn them black. And then let's group them back together. That'll kind of give you, we can also delete these lines so they won't be in the way. Because we really only need that top part. I could actually delete all this. And let's move it. Let's Control G to group it. And let's just put it over here and let's rotate a little bit. I'm not going to worry about the dimension. But we need really both sections, this section and this section. So if you look at the top, I'm going to take a 2-point line, and I'm going to go from that node to that node. And then I'm going to go from that node to what I'm going to do? I'm going to back up here, hit F12 on my keyboard, change my graphic to draw in black, just so we can see. And then I'm going to go from that, it says intersection because that's what it is. There's no node there. A lot of times it's going to say node. So then on the next one, we're going to come down, but we're not going to come all the way to the edge. We're going to take this and put it like right there. Now, I missed the node, or the node. That's pretty good. Then get this one and try to just mimic it, how close it is. You could actually probably rotate it. So I've got this box. Now I need to get into the next square, and I'm trying to, I've deleted that line. So I'm actually going to go from that line. That line's deleted on that one. And then try to do the same, about the same. It doesn't have to be perfect. Then take that one and go to this edge. Take that one, go to this edge. Now, if you will take all these and group them together, Control G, Control D, and then alternate C, and rotate them 15 degrees. That gives us that same pattern because we want this to be solid. So my line, you don't want to delete any of the circle lines. So we're going to take and make kind of looks like a a box razor blade in the middle. Delete all that. Just do not delete this line. And then we're going to delete all this plus that. And we're going to delete this line and this line. And I think that's it. I just noticed I don't have, those two lines aren't perpendicular to each other. So I need to basically, okay, I grouped them together. So I'm going to grab it, go up to Object, Group, and Ungroup. Then I get my Shape tool and I can move that to there. That's what we need, I'm pretty sure. So then take your Smart Fill tool. You know what, I am going to use a different color on this one. Let me use that blue. And I'm going to fill that in, that in, that in, and that in. That's all we need. That other line was just for a stopping point. And it doesn't, you know what, it doesn't look right. It went past that point. That's because that node might not be on it and they're grouped together. So you got to go to Object. Whenever you can't grab anything with a Shape tool, it's because it's part of a group. That should work. Yep, there we go. Now, because everything's pretty much a group, but I'm going to get rid of this. And these lines are separated, so I'm going to set my nudge factor on like 5 inches. And I'm going to grab that blue, that blue, that blue, and that blue. And then I'm just going to take my Alt key and swipe through there and then delete everything. Now, I nudged them over once, so I'm going to nudge them over again. Hopefully I only nudged them over once. So we have 4 items up there. I'm going to take the Interactive Fill tool, and I'm going to maybe make a second video where I'm going to curve those. So swipe across, put black on both ends. Then stretch that out, making those equal, and then bring in a blue. We just want a slight tint of a item. And then we're going to put a white in the middle, kind of make it look like rolled shiny metal, or at least it does for me. Now, the one thing that's kind of cool about this, we almost have this same shape, but it's at a different angle, but we can take the attribute eyedropper and take a sample and put it there. Now you can tell it's off though, but we can get our Interactive Fill tool. Well, I need to select this one. And then I can move this handle and actually move these up, move that handle, kind of make them look the same. That one's a little thicker. You know, on this one, I'm not going to put the white I did before. Interactive Fill tool, swipe across. I'm going to make it black on both sides because it's basically look kind of like a ribbon. And this we can use the attribute eyedropper with the exception that it's going the opposite direction. Now I'm going to bring in a little blue. And I'm not going to put the white in the middle on this one. Now there's really 2 things we could do here to make this maybe look perfect. I'm going to left click, right click. I'm going to take this one, I'm going to Control D, and I'm going to mirror it. I might not be able to do it because of rotation. Yeah, see, it's not rotated the same. So forget that idea. Always want to try though. We could use the attribute eyedropper. Take a sample and see it's off. And then make sure you've got it selected and get the Interactive Fill tool and just change this direction more like the other one. That looks pretty good. Control G to group, Control D to duplicate, Alternate C to have it rotate from the center and rotate it 15 degrees. See, that way this leg gets on top of that one, and then just Control D all the way around. I think I will later make a second part to put a little curve to it. I think it would look good. Always lately, I've been putting a black box behind it because it really makes those interactive fill tool kind of shine, and boy, that looks pretty good. But if I put a little curve, this looks like the ribbon. This looks good, but this looks like, I could even curve the top. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I hope that gave you an idea or two, and thank you for watching.